Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Kat.
And this is the Aries 2.0. We're going to take a dive into why we made this product and who it is for.
We'll talk about its innovative design and highlight some of the benefits in this extremely feature-rich product.
And we'll demonstrate some key exercises that you can do with this very versatile setup. The original Aries 1.0, which launched in 2022, became a favorite for its ability to maximize space and functionality by incorporating a lat pull-down and low row, along with a functional trainer, all within inside the footprint of your existing rack.
We have the Aries 1.0 in all three of our locations, Colorado, California, and Pennsylvania, where multiple rep staff work out on it every day and think about new ways to use it, and of course, new ways to improve it. We also listened to customer feedback on ways you all thought we could improve it as well. So we rolled all that feedback together, along with months of prototype testing, so our Colorado-based engineers could bring it to life in the Aries 2.0. Maximizing your space is important for any gym, but for a home gym, it's a must. Since the inception of Aries, we've been working really hard to prove that just because you work out at home doesn't mean that you have to work out exclusively with free weights. Also, you don't need a bunch of expensive machines taking up a lot of space. There are 6 cable termination points that connect to the weight stacks. There's 2 up top for the lat pull down, 2 down low for the low row, and 2 on the sides for the functional trainer. As Adam will demonstrate, each of the cable attachment ends can be used independently for unilateral work. But if you really want to load up on lat pull downs or low rows, we include this attachment bar. That way you can get both cable ends into one and achieve that maximum weight of 310 pounds with the upgraded weight stack. We tested this 2-to-1 cable attachment to well over the max load, so you can lift heavy with confidence. And lastly, if you look at the cable ends, we designed this combination thumb screw and ball detent pin to make switching between attachments quick and easy.
Now, having dual weight stacks on the Aries 2.0 has multiple advantages. And Kat had already mentioned one of those, of being able to do isolateral movements on the lat pull down and the low row. But it's also very advantageous if you're working out with a buddy. You can both be doing a movement at the same time, with no interruption from both of you pulling on a single weight stack. But if you don't often work out with somebody else in your gym, it's still beneficial to have the 2 weight stacks for yourself. Here, I could be doing a tricep push down on one side with 1 weight, and I can simply transition to the other side and perform my bicep curls with a different weight. So I don't have the need to go back to the weight stack, change my weights in between each set. And lastly, every cable end has a 2-to-1 ratio, which means you'll have a smooth and consistent cable pull with plenty of cable travel, no matter which part of the Aries you're working out on. And so because each cable has a 2-to-1 ratio, that means the weight stacks are gonna feel like half of the actual weight that they are. So in this example here, we have 2 310-pound weight stacks for a total combined weight of 620 pounds. However, because of the 2-to-1 ratio, that means that the total maximum usable weight is 310 pounds when the cables are combined, or 155 pounds when the cables are used separately.
So for the head plate, the minimum usable weight is 10 pounds. We investigated making the head plate a little bit lighter, but we quickly found out that that actually wasn't so great. Because if the head plate's too light and you're using a heavier attachment out here, it can make the head plate float a little bit, which is a worse user experience. Now the weight stack plates are hot rolled and machine finished so that the pin goes in smoothly. The pin's also lightly magnetized so that it stays in securely.
And the last feature of the weight stacks is the integrated incremental weights. You simply pop the pin from the top of the guide rods and slide this down. So now you can make 2.5-pound jumps for whatever exercise you are doing. And the nice thing is the clip up here is angled. So when you're done working out with the incremental weight, all you need to do is throw it up there and it's locked in place and you can move on with your life. Now let's talk a little bit more about the lat pull down and low row feature of the Aries. We've already talked about how easy it is to use them independently of each other for isolateral movements, or combine them together for those super heavy pull downs and low rows. At the pull down connection point of the Aries, the cables are both on swivel pulleys so that no matter what movement you're doing, whether you're working together or independently, the cables can always be in line with the motion. And now the low row attachment points on the Aries are off the ground and close together to better replicate the feel of the low rows that we're used to doing on commercial pieces in the gym. And they're also on a swivel, so just like at the lat pull down section of the Aries, no matter what motion you're doing, whether the cable's connected together or separate, the cables will be in line with the pulleys for a smooth, consistent feel. And another benefit to the low row being raised off the floor and closer together, and probably the biggest one, is that if you're someone who has tight hamstrings, you could struggle to sit on the floor and have the cable attachment clear your knees and perform a proper row. However, because it's raised, you'll be able to pull a bench in a decline position or even in a flat position, set your feet up on the foot plate, and do a proper low or mid row.
We designed the trolleys to be light and easy to move, but also strong enough to withstand the full weight of the stacks. We use this oversized pop pin and knurled handle for a secure grip on the trolley when you're moving it. And we also use the plastic liner on the inside to make motion on the uprights smooth. Finally, we added a little bit of plastic liner on the end of the pop pin as well, so if you accidentally rub it against your upright when you're moving the trolley, you're not going to scratch your powder coat.
And because we intended the front two trolleys of the Aries to be used like a functional trainer, we wanted to ensure that people could do a solid cable cross. So we moved the pulleys to the outside of the trolley to gain a couple more inches of range of motion. For reference, I'm 6'2" with a decent wingspan, and I am able to get a solid stretch at the beginning of the motion for that good full range of motion cable cross.
The Aries features custom aluminum pulleys to facilitate a smooth cable pull. We also added cable retainers everywhere so that when you're exercising, the cable isn't going to jump out of the track. The pulleys on the front two trolleys swivel 180 degrees, so you can do converging movements in between the uprights in front of your rack, or you can work outside of your rack. These cables are rated for over 1,300 pounds, they're plastic coated for durability, and we tested several different cable jacket thicknesses to find the ideal diameter for the smoothest pull. Cable travel on a 93-inch rack, like the one we have here, is 95 inches, and on an 80-inch rack, it's 71 inches. Cable travel isn't affected by the depth of your rack.
And now to talk about the foot plate on the Aries. It is made with a large center cutout to accommodate the low row pulleys, and it has a matte black powder-coated tread plate. The top of the tread plate has angled foot position, so when you're seated on a bench, you'll have a comfortable place to place your feet. Additionally, there's two cutouts to accommodate the wheel guards on any of the wheeled rep benches. And this will be more ideal for performing an incline press, so you can center the bench and place it far enough back so you can do a proper press. Another important feature of the foot plate on the Aries is that it's adjustable with this pop pin and handle at the bottom. Pull the pin, slide the foot plate out, lock it in, and this is especially important when performing low rows because this will allow me to get a good full stretch at the end of that range of motion so I can build a massive back.
We designed the Aries to fit all of this functionality and versatility into the footprint of your existing rack. So on the sides, the trolleys add only about 5.2 inches off the side of your uprights. At the top, the pulleys add 1.6 inches off the top of your upright. And out the back, the weight stack shrouds add 0.6 inches past the furthest extent of your rack.
Now the Aries comes with a couple different attachments. It comes with 4 strap-style D-handles and a fully knurled lat pull-down bar. We've made this fully knurled so no matter where your grip is, you'll have a strong and secure grip. And it has one attachment point, so when using the included 2-to-1 bar, you can hook both weight stacks up to the pull-down bar. But you're not limited to the attachments that we include with the Aries. Other attachments that'll work are the triangle row, sports handle, tricep rope, you name it, any cable attachment that you have, you can find a way to attach to the Aries and do your workouts. Also, there's other attachments that the Aries does not limit the functionality of, such as your J-cups, strap safeties, flip down safeties, you name it, you pick the attachment, you should be able to put it on your rack, even with the Aries cable attachment installed. Now to wrap it all up, the Aries is truly an all-in-one unit. You maintain the complete functionality of your rack, and you can do full body workouts, whether you're using the cables of the Aries or your free weights. You can do cable flies, high, medium, or low, no matter your wingspan.
Laying leg curls on a bench.
And because of the cable routing and trolley design, no matter how tall you are, you'll be able to place the trolley high enough on the upright for a good full range of motion tricep pushdown.
And the Aries trolley design also allows you to get a full range of motion on bicep curls when you move the trolley to the bottom of the upright.
And the two most obvious features are the lat pull down and the low row. And on the lat pull down, when you're seated on a bench with leg rollers holding your legs down, basically no matter what your stature is, you're gonna be able to get a full reach at the top of that pull down, and you're gonna be able to select enough weight, up to 310 pounds for your pull downs. And on the low row, because they're raised and centered towards the middle, you're gonna be able to get a full reach and stretch, and you also have the ability to go up to that 310 pound row.
Because of the 10-pound starting weight, you can also do lighter weight exercises such as internal and external rotations and cable chops.
And because the weight stacks are in line with the back upright of your rack, you can still do flat bench inside of the rack and fit a spotter back there. Or you can do incline press in the traditional direction facing the front of your rack.
You can mount your Aries 2.0 to a ton of different rack configurations. So for the PR4000, you can mount it to the 4-post 16-inch half rack, or for the 6-post, you can mount it to any of those options either. So the 1616, the 1624, 1630, or 1641. And for the PR5000, same thing. You can mount it to the 4-post 16-inch half rack, or for the 6-post options, to the 1616, 1630, or 1641.
And at Rep, we tried to create an ecosystem of products. So beyond the base rack with your Aries cable setup, you can also have modular storage mounted to the sides, or if you want to go real crazy, you could even mount 2 Aries cable systems together with pull-up bars or storage in between. We would love to see any of the cool setups that you guys make for the Aries, so post those pictures on Instagram, tag us at Rep Fitness Equipment, and let's see what the Aries 2.0 can really do.
So that's a wrap on the Aries cable attachment. We're incredibly proud to bring you this version of the Aries, and we can't wait to see what you do with it in your home and commercial gym setups.
And as always, if you have any questions about the Aries 2.0 or anything Rep, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Colorado-based customer support team. And we would love to see you in person and get your hands on the Aries 2.0 at our California or Pennsylvania showrooms. And if you're curious about where you can find Rep internationally, check out the locations tab below on our website. Oh,
Oh my
why is there got to be so much stuff this thing can do? Good job.
Nice.